Hey, Miss Shirley, how are you? Miss Shirley, I need to go get my drink. I will be right back. I'm back. Work is going to kill me. I need to be able to start drinking at work, y'all. I'm just saying. I need to be able to start drinking at work. I am so unorganized for this. Thank you, Miss Fancy. I'm so unorganized, y'all. What is today? Thursday. I got laundry in the wash that needs to go in the dryer that I just put in because all my new my new bathing suits, everything just came in this week, and I've got that in the wash so that I can get it ready. And then, hey, Miss Pebbles. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Big Daddy's down there vacuuming my truck out. I go tomorrow afternoon to get a haircut. I did get my hair colored this week. I managed to get that done. I still haven't got my computer set up so that I can do this. Hence why I'm late, because I don't have passwords for anything. I gotta redo my Facebook password because I don't remember what it was. So I can't get Messenger on here. So that it's just I need a vacation. And I'm going to Florida, y'all. I'm going to Florida Saturday morning. I'm gonna do this. It kills me. I might not come back. But I'm taking this one with me so that hopefully I can. So I'm taking both of them because I'm going to get it set up. Well, the house that we rented has a screened-in porch, and I'm just going to sit there and read all day because I don't like sand and I don't like ocean. I'm going down there for Big Daddy because it's his birthday. And I'll start here in just another minute or so. I just want to give everybody time. And it's his birthday Monday, and he turned 70. So he wants the beach. So that's where we're going. And I'm just going to sit on the porch and read all week. Well, we're going 4 nights: Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and coming back Wednesday. So I'm just going to read. That's all I'm going to do is read. Leave me alone. Let me read. So Wednesday nights, I may go ahead and upload that one so that you guys can watch it. Well, I'll upload it for Wednesday, but it may not be live because I don't know what time we'll be getting back and if I'll even feel like doing one. So I may do that one ahead of time. I know. He's so special. All right. Y'all ready? Neener Beaner, is Miss Desiree coming? If not, that's okay. All right. I have no idea how many chapters I'm going to read. We're going to get a good probably go over past the top of the hour just to give her a fair, read enough. Whenever I get to a good stopping point, that's where I'll stop. But it may be like 9:15 when I stop. So I know, right? Mr. Monster, a hero club novel, but it's technically a cocky hero club novel. All right. So chapter 1, Caroline. Dexter Truitt is a dick. I hated running, but I loved what it did to my body. So when I got into that 3rd mile and my legs started screaming in agony, that happens like the first 30 feet with me. I don't know what she's talking about. And my legs started screaming in agony. I like to punctuate each step with a word, a cadence, or a mantra. Dexter Truitt is a dick. Right foot down, then left. The soles of my nobles barely making a noise on the uneven sidewalk of the art district of downtown Toledo. The sun was barely creeping down on the horizon. Night would be a way off yet. I could take care of myself, but I knew better than to run the streets after dark in a place I'd just moved to. So I ran while the sun was high, but the temperature wasn't, trying to set my clothes on fire. August in Ohio still got plenty hot, but running after 5 was tolerable. A trickle of sweat ran from the back of my neck, meandering between my shoulder blades to disappear under the tight spandex of my sports bra. There it was. I didn't like to be hot. I didn't like being sweaty in general. Like summer in New York when the sun ricocheted off the steaming sidewalks and reflected off the money clips and cell phones of the masses. But the good sweat of pushing my body in a good workout, I could dig that. I pushed a little harder, the muscles of my legs quivering in my compression leggings. Up yours, Dexter. Okay, maybe I was being a little unfair, but the unceremonious dumping. No, I don't want to restart. Leave it alone. Turd. It's trying to do an update on me. So, sorry. But the unceremonious dumping I'd just gone through had been the catalyst for my moving several states away with barely a word to anyone in my entourage and the subsequent changing of jobs. Okay, so he didn't dump me. We weren't even dating, not really. More of a friends with benefits kind of thing, except we weren't even really friends, more like colleagues with benefits. It sounded stupid, even as I tried to rationalize it in my mind. The honest answer was we used each other as dates to social obligations and occasionally had sex. Mind-blowing sex. Christ. He had a devil dick. And that's Nina's kind of dick. And a smart woman knows once you get a taste of a man that knows what he's doing in bed, anything less than that is just unacceptable. But we weren't having sex anymore. So Dexter Truitt could fuck right off. He couldn't even break it off in person. I had to find out through text message. Ladies, don't swear. I heard the voice of my father ringing through my head. Oh, ladies, don't swear. I heard the voice of my father ringing through my head. And even as a grown woman, I flinched. That's right. Ladies don't swear. They also didn't ditch the family money to move to Podunk, Ohio. Hey, Jackie, where you at? Where's Liberty or Karen at? And they also didn't ditch the family money to move to Podunk, Ohio. Big Daddy just checked on me. And take a job beneath their degree just to get out of running into their ex-sex friend and his new lady love at social gatherings. But I did. And I also said, fuck a lot. So maybe I just wasn't cut out to be a lady no matter how hard I tried. Lord knows I'm not. I don't know if it was the running, the swearing in my head, or the sing-song way I was telling Dex to fuck off in my run, but for a split second, I did something a woman born and raised in New York City should never do. Ever. I let my guard down. I was out running alone in an unknown place, and I spaced out, not paying attention to my surroundings. The hand that snaked around from the side pressed tight over my mouth, yanking me backwards from my momentum and spun me in a circle. Before I could move, I was clamped tightly to a bony male chest, cushioned only by a scratchy sweatshirt that was much too warm to be wearing in the August heat. Don't move, lady. I don't want to hurt you. The voice sounded like it was whistling around a mouthful of missing teeth, and possibly a good cough or two was needed to clear his throat. I struggled to get out of his grasp, but his wiry arms held me like a vice. In order for me to get out of his hold, I had to obey. Stop struggling, Caroline. You are better than this. You can outsmart him. I remained still, even fighting the urge to keep my chest from rising and falling. Not because I thought he would think I was still struggling, but I was desperate to keep the sharp smell of him out of my nose. You idiot! It's been 2 weeks and you already ticked one thing off the family's list of things you can't do right. You can't protect yourself without the family money and name. Those pearls of wisdom were from my mother. Oh, excuse me. Let me go back and read that in Mama's voice. You idiot. It's been 2 weeks and you already ticked off one thing off the family's list of things you can't do right. You can't protect yourself without the family money and name. Those pearls of wisdom were from my mother, a woman who'd never gone without the protection of a man's name or money a single day in her life. A debutante through and through, just like me. Just like I was. I was strong enough to break his hold, definitely, but I couldn't see if he had a weapon. And until I could see what I was up against, I had to be still. Lady, I just need a couple of dollars. You've got a couple of dollars, right? I most certainly did not have a couple of dollars. I didn't even have my phone. What I had was a teeny tiny pocket in the waistband of my leggings where I could stash my apartment key. I didn't own a car, something that would have to be remedied shortly, considering I didn't have a driver anymore. Not here anyway. And I wouldn't live to need a driver again if I didn't figure out a way to get out of the current situation. He must have figured out I couldn't answer him with his hand slapped over my mouth. I'm going to move my hand, but you can't scream, okay? I don't want to hurt you. If I would have seen him coming, he wouldn't have had a chance, but I couldn't say that, so I nodded silently, a tiny little movement, just enough. I'm playing with my minion, y'all. That's what I'm tearing up over here. If I would have seen him coming, he wouldn't have had a chance to, but I couldn't say that, so I nodded silently, a tiny little movement, just enough to make him think I was frightened and complying. As soon as he let me go, I would beat the piss smell right out of his clothes. But until I could get my arms free and see my assailant meek and afraid, it would have to be. I nodded slowly and the hand moved from my mouth. But instead of turning me around to face him, my attacker used his arms to pin mine at my sides. At least this way, I could tell he wasn't holding a weapon. Getting out of this would be easy. Just a well-timed crack of the back of my head to the front of his nose. From the way his chest pressed against my shoulder blades, I gauged him to be taller than me. Maybe if I can bend my knees a little, I can get some momentum and come up under his chin. I had it under control. I really did, but I never got a chance to put my self-defense training into action because one moment I was contemplating the best angle to break my attacker's nose, and the next moment there was no attacker behind me to even hit. Just the whooshing sound of air filling the space he used to occupy, and the rapidly disappearing scent of body odor as he was flung several feet away. Lady, get back! I didn't even get to turn around and see what had happened before I was shoved out of the way, my feet stumbling over each other until I came down hard on my ass at the bottom set of stairs leading into a large church. Numbly, I wondered at the irony of getting jacked in front of God's house. But I didn't have time to wax poetic on the thought because from my vantage point on the ground, I finally got a good look at my Savior. Dear God, he was huge. Hey, Psycho. Hey, bitch. It's about time you girls showed up. Not that huge. Not just tall, but thick like me, y'all. Like a Norse oak tree of a man wearing dark gray sweatpants and a white t-shirt. I could only see him from behind because he shoved me out of the way and immediately faced the attacker. But the dark blonde hair cut cleanly at the base of his neck and the thickness of his shoulder had modern day Viking written all over it. Psycho, here's your man. Sitting outside the gym. You crack me up. I broke my gaze on the new guy and got a glimpse of my actual attacker. And honestly, I almost felt sorry for him. He was definitely in rough shape and had been roaming the streets for quite some time. His raggedy red sweatshirt had holes in the sleeves and the bottom was torn to shreds. The garment was so old and tattered, I could barely make out the college football logo on the front. His hair was greasy and matted. Oh, by the way, they're in Ohio, Podunk, Ohio. You know where that's at, don't you? His hair was greasy and matted around his ears and down the back of his neck. It was the same color and texture as his ridiculously long goatee. Tattoos covered his hands. There were also strange marks creeping out of the torn neck hole of his shirt. But once I blinked a couple of times, I saw them for what they really were. Track marks. Angry, scabby, red lines of infection that sprung out from between the fingers of his hands. He was so far gone, it was heartbreaking. I'd heard heroin was the drug of choice around here, but I thought it was kept mostly to the suburbs. From what I'd read before I moved, the city drug of choice was meth. Whatever would happen in the next few minutes, I knew for sure it would not go well for the who'd been tossed through the air like a blow-up doll. As it was, he was so shaken he could barely stand on his feet, just crouched in a misshapen boxer's guard, hands clenched in front of him, ready to swing, and most likely miss. He also had his thumb tucked into the palm of his hand with his fingers curled around it. Even I knew that was a good way to break your thumbs, assuming he would hit whatever he swung at, which was doubtful. Your shakes bring all the boys to the yard. Yeah, we got meth down here. I'm sure there's some heroin somewhere, but it's mostly meth. Or so I'm told. That's what my stepson's choice is. I saw her first, asshole. Don't poach. Guy number one, as I affectionately named him, spit the words as he raged at the blonde Viking. He was clearly high and unstable. I'm not robbing her, you imbecile. The voice of the new guy definitely went with the body. Deeper than I'd heard up close in a while and irritated. I'm not robbing her and neither are you. So get the hell out of here before I snap your arms and make you sit on them long ways. Well, that was creative. Guy number one wasn't just strung out. Apparently, he was also heavy as a bag of hammers because he swore and, with arms wildly flailing, charged the Viking. I scuttled back a little on the sidewalk to get out of the way, but the wall of men in front of me made no move to act like he heard me, and I was just getting to my feet and wiping sidewalk dirt off my butt when the wall in front of me moved. God, a man that big shouldn't be able to move that fast. The sound of a barking is something you never forget, even if you hear it once. So when my rescuer's meaty fist smashed into the junkie's nose, I knew he was fucked. Even without the crimson spray that immediately bubbled out from both nostrils and the shrill, girlish scream that followed, a scream cut off by another blow to the abdomen, the solid thud of body part against body part, and then the surprising silence of my assailant hitting the ground. I didn't know either of these men, and if I was hard pressed, I couldn't say who scared me more. But only one of them was conscious at the moment, so that's where I focused the entirety of my frustration. I didn't need your help. The words just flew out of my mouth, and I knew how ridiculous they must have sounded. But it was true, I think. Well, maybe it came out as more of a squeak than a confident statement, but whatever. My words still registered as the blonde giant in front of me widened his eyes and frowned. A plain white t-shirt now speckled across the front of a plain white t-shirt now speckled across the front with a few red drops of blood stretched tight across his shoulders and arms. Judging from the triangle's sweat mark spread down from the neck, he'd probably been out for a run, and the dark gray sweatpants and athletic shoes cemented that hypothesis. The Viking stared at me silently for a moment, arms crossed over his chest and lips pressed together in a straight line. Then he smiled, a slow smile that stretched across the bottom of his face but didn't meet his eyes. My fault. It looked like you were about to get mugged by a junkie on the steps of this church. I apologize, but considering he had both your arms pinned while he slobbered down the side of your neck, you can maybe forgive me for my mistake. His voice was low. Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't I be standing in front of some huge old church in a town I just moved to a couple of weeks ago, talking to a guy who looked like he just walked off the cover of a fitness magazine and standing next to the crumpled body of an idiot who was trying to shake me down for cash? Actually, the more I thought about it, who is the real idiot? I don't have any money on me to steal. That's obvious. The low rumbling voice lay across my body like an electric charge, starting with a tingle at my hairline and zipping down my spine. Irritated at myself for having that reaction to him and forgetting he was standing there at all, I snapped. What does that mean? Do I look poor? Oh, no, lady. And what does being poor have to do with it? He uncrossed his arms and waved his hands at me from top to bottom. You're out here half naked in the tightest outfit possible. There isn't a place on you to hide $1. I can see your nipples, for Christ's sake. These are exercise clothes. He was an idiot. That was the only explanation. What kind of misogynist? I always have a hard time with that word, Joe. Victim blamer shit is that? It's one of those big words. It's not big, but I never use it. I only read it, and so I always have a hard, and I never hear it. Darling, I did miss you. I have missed you. I've been leaving you alone for 2 reasons. 1, you've been moving and being busy. 2, I had to go back into fucking work. Misogynist. I don't know. Misogynistic. I don't know. I still mess it up every time. I need you, Jackie. You think I don't, but I really do. I need you to teach me proper English. Because sometimes these big words I don't hear day to day. I mean, think about it. How many people use that word in your everyday life? Nothing. Okay, let's go back to the book now. What kind of misogynist victim blamer shit is that? And if my nipples are bothering you, then don't look at them. Oh, please look at them. I didn't say they were bothering me, sweetheart. The corners of his mouth twitched, and I could tell he was suppressing a smile. A real one this time, because his eyes weren't angrily narrowed at me anymore. Even his posture was more relaxed, although he was still huge. Too huge. See, I think they use that word in Ohio because this book's in Ohio and Miss Ohio there showed me. See, that's one of them fancy words you guys from Ohio use. I don't know it. Exactly, Karen. Message this. And another thing, I raged on, obvious to his previous tone. I don't want to get fashion advice from someone dressed like you. He's in gray sweatpants, y'all. That's the best. Oh my gosh. Surprise registered on his face again, and he looked down at himself with a questioning gaze. What's wrong with what I'm wearing? At least you can't see my nipples. You're wearing a white t-shirt and gray sweatpants. That's the universal outfit for ovarian combustion. Sorry, it was split two different lines, and I was reading. That's the universal outfit for ovarian combustion. And who cares about your nipples? Your dick print is clear as day. You probably impregnated every woman you jogged by tonight. I clapped a hand over my mouth. I can't believe I just said that. I must be in shock. Why, lady, I am appalled. I've never been so harassed. I doubt that, I mumbled. I could tell by the silhouette of his running gear he was working with a full arsenal. Harassment? Hell, I bet women throw themselves at him. Not me, obviously, but women, other women. And even if he felt harassed, he didn't hate it. Not from the grin that swept from one side of his face to the other, turning the hard angles and sharp lines of his jaw into something almost boyish. Not quite, but maybe a little. He squinted at me. Like what you see? Oh, shit. I'd been staring. I wasn't used to being under such scrutiny from others. I was an alpha female. I looked down at the common folk, so to speak. I didn't look up at people as if they had authority over me. At any rate, standing in front of this mountain of a man, however, I found myself unable to work up an argument. If you're going to address me with your eyes, you should at least tell me your name. One eyebrow, pale as corn silk, arched up in a perfect triangle, daring me to argue. Was that a dimple? Unacceptable. I think I better keep that to myself. You're a stranger. Speaking of a stranger, I glanced down at my attacker, motionless at the Viking's feet. Viking. No, I know it. I can't even talk now, y'all. Motionless at the Viking's feet. He wasn't going anywhere soon. Suit yourself, church. I'll probably never see you again anyway, so I'll just call you what I want to. He looked me up and down slowly. At first, I thought he was flirting with me, but then I realized he was sizing me up for injuries. Satisfied, nothing was broken, neither bones nor my virtue, but maybe a little more pride. I also have 2, and I have 3. So that's what? Kevin, Stu, and what's the third one? I have a hard time with these minions. They're so cute. I got them at the Dollar Tree. And I'm just sitting here playing with them. Lotion, eyeglass cleaner, and hand sanitizer. But if you want to go see, if you want me to go get my big squirt bottle, yeah, it's in the bedroom. Just saying. All right, back up. Suit yourself, Church. I'll probably never see you again anyway, so I'll just call you what I want to. He looked me up and down slowly. At first, I thought he was flirting with me, but then I realized he was sizing me up for injuries. Satisfied nothing was broken, neither bone nor my virtue, but maybe a little of my pride, he sighed and shook his head. I don't suppose you'd let me take you home. You gonna run me there? It didn't look like he was toting car keys on his person either. And to be honest, I wasn't comfortable with the entire situation. I didn't want this humongous stranger knowing where I lived, even if he had a ghost temple, and just beat the hell out of a guy on the steps of a church for me. Oh, what's wrong with my title? I like my title better, damn it. Bitch. I just got a text from Nina. It says, you got the wrong title. It's Mr. Monster, not Monster Clock. So, Desiree, I'm sorry. I'll have to go back and change it. It's just these girls. I mean, hell, it's just my week, okay? I need a Monster Cock. Shut up. Bitches, all of you. I didn't want this humongous stranger knowing where I lived, even if he had a ghost temple. And I will go back and fix that. Thank you. And just beat the hell out of a guy who on the steps of a church for me. I mean, I could have taken the guy, but still. Man, you have a mouth on you, woman. Don't worry, Church. You aren't my type. I like my women a little more compliant. I just want to make sure you get home okay. He was baiting me. I could tell it, but it didn't put me at ease. Instead, an aggravated, itchy feeling started in between my shoulder blades. Kind of like the sweat line from earlier, but not something I could wipe away. I squirmed a little where I stood. Well, good luck with that, mister. I've been called a lot of things, but compliant has never been one of them. I guess we couldn't be far apart in age, but he made me feel like an ornery little kid standing there waiting for a nice word. Ornery is something we use a lot down here. What? Who turned red? Wait a minute. What am I missing? Oh, shit. Oh, I don't care. Hey, Desiree. I'll fix your title, Desiree. I was trying to hurry. I just saw he turned red and I thought, what? Okay. See, that's the problem when all of you are on here, I get sidetracked. There you go, sister. I guess I guess we couldn't be far apart in age, but he made me feel like an ornery little kid standing there waiting for a nice word. I didn't wait for anything for any man. So he was just shit out of luck. Um, I live pretty close. I'm just going to finish my run and head back to my apartment. Shit, I said my apartment. There were only 2 apartment buildings in the vicinity, and I pretty much just outed myself if he wanted to find one. Once again, I forgot that I didn't live in New York City or NYC anymore. I didn't live in a high rise, and there was no doorman or 24-hour security in my building. It was nice, but it was Northwest Ohio nice, not Manhattan nice. You picked this life, stupid. Get used to it. Hell, he could follow me home if he wanted. I wasn't making it hard for him. I wasn't scared of the junkie, but having the gigantic man who'd saved me follow me home made me nervous in ways I didn't really want to dissect. To my surprise, he didn't argue with me. I'll stay here with him. You take off. He nudged the still unconscious pile of rags, not so gently with the toe of his shoe. Damn, it had to be a size 13 at least. What are you going to do about him? I really didn't want to know. I could have called the police, but honestly, I didn't want to stick around. I wanted to go home and take 4 steaming hot showers and gargle salt water, Listerine, and colloidal silver to disinfect myself from every part of me he touched. What if he tries to hit you? What if he tries to hit you again? Yes, Karen, 13. Damn it. But Karen, you can't have him because he's Jackie's. He's in Ohio and he's a Viking. So Jackie's got dibs. Then go get it. Desiree's an awesome author. And she happens to be funny in person. So, yeah. Go get it. What are you going to do about him? I really didn't want to know. I could have called the police, but honestly, I didn't want to stick around. I wanted to go home and take 4 steaming hot showers and gargle salt water, Listerine, and colloidal silver to disinfect myself from every part of me he touched. What if he tries to hit you again? The Viking looked at me like I had grown another head while I'd been speaking. His face took on a dark shadow and lines appeared on his face. If he knows what's good for him, he won't move until you're long gone. If he wants to keep his bones intact, he won't move until I'm gone either. His eyes shone wildly in the dim light of the church, and his nostrils flared like a bull about to charge, making me wonder just how safe I was with my savior. A shudder crept up my spine. I mumbled some form of thanks and quickly turned my back to him and ran. I ran all the way to my apartment, up the stairs to the 3rd floor, and fumbled in my tiny waist pocket for the apartment key. That guy might have saved me from someone who wanted to hurt me, but the look in his eyes when I was leaving was feral. They were definitely the eyes of another kind of monster. Oh, honey, you don't share with Pebbles. You listen to Pebbles because she will whip you into shape. Yeah, Jackie scares me. That's the reason I'm letting her have this one. She scares me. Chapter 2, Ash. Hold on, I'm trying to see who's reading what. Abso-fucking-lutely not, Gabe. The dumbass wearing basketball shorts and a cotton t-shirt didn't even look like he was paying attention, so I enunciated each syllable. It didn't matter that he was my boss or that he had more money than he knew what to do with. I still wasn't taking his shit. When you asked me to take over as primary shareholder and head of Anderson Investments, I said it was under the condition I do it my way. You hiring a bitch boy to help me do my job is not my way. I was furious, made even more so by the unaffected expression of Gabriel Anderson's face. He had stepped down from primary at the firm after his dad died, and I get that. He opened the security firm and spent most of his time with that venture, which I also understood. I could definitely respect a man that didn't put all of his eggs in one basket, or had his fingers in more than one pie, or however the fuck the saying goes. But I didn't like he was being told. But I didn't like what I didn't like was being told how to do my job. All the employees under me were hired and vetted by me. I ran a tight ship and my circle of trust was small, especially when dealing with money, others and mine. My job was to manage the money for the entire firm, which built its floors on managing the money of others. That's how I made my increasingly large salary, and I ruled it all with absolute authority. Not only did I not need an assistant, I did not want one, much less someone I didn't get to choose or even see their credentials. Ashley, don't fucking call me that. Ooh, my voice is not getting deep enough now. Don't fucking call me that. I growled and grinned, and he grinned. That prick. My full name was horrid and completely off limits. Gabe muted the grin. Ash, this is a favor for me, and I'm still the boss no matter how much you want me to forget it. No matter how much I wish I could forget it sometimes. No matter how much I wish I could forget it sometimes. Gabe sighed and shook his head, a ghost of a smile on his face. It was easy to forget he was in charge of a dynasty. He'd ditched the suit and tie a while ago. Now I only ever saw him in athletic clothes or his New work uniform, which generally entailed lots of black and many hidden weapons. I wish he'd at least dressed better when he came to the top floor of the Anderson building, though. For fuck's sake, let's keep up appearances. I don't do favors. Yeah, no shit. I was just trying to avoid telling you to do it because I said so, you salty asshole. To be honest, this person is overqualified for the job and just looking for something fast and away from home. Honestly, I'm looking to have someone with those qualifications here. With those connections, Gower could work in any firm in any state, probably on the board. So don't be a cockface and accept the help. Gabe grimaced. Also, what crawled up your ass and farted? You never smile, but you're especially foul today. Everything okay with your grandmother? At the mention of my Gigi, some tension left my shoulders, and I leaned back into the soft black leather of my chair, feeling the cushioned back squeak a little against my back. Gigi's fine. She was as fine as she could be anyway. Alzheimer's was rotting her brain slowly, taking her heartbreakingly further away from me every day. But as of right now, I had her in the best care facility in Toledo, and the work I did for Gabe allowed me to make sure she wanted for nothing. But Gabe leaned back on the corner of one of the solid wood chairs across from me, crossing his arms across his chest and propping one of his Air Jordans on the corner of my desk, my freshly polished desk. Get your fucking foot off my desk, you goon. Technically, it was his desk, as was everything in the building, but this was my space, and I took care of the shit in my space. He dropped his foot, but stayed leaning against the chair like it didn't cost $1,000. He kept his arms across his chest and looked at me, eyes flat, waiting for a response. It's the dickhead again. I didn't even want to talk about it, but I'd known Gabe my whole adult life since he'd come back from the military and while he'd been out doing crazy soldier for hire shit before settling down with Angel. crap was crawling up my window over there. If there was anyone on the planet I could talk to about this kind of shit, it was Gabe Anderson. Oh, him. He knew better than to say his name. The name that never failed to send me into a rage. What did he do this time? He paid for an entire year of Gigi's assisted living stay, upped her round-the-clock care by another 2 full-time aides, and had her meals prepped by a third-party delivery company. All organic, of course. God, I fucking hated that guy. Gabe rolled his eyes. The monster. He didn't even try to hide his smile. And I didn't hide how badly I wanted to punch his kidney up through his nostrils. Gabe knew how I felt about the guy. Damn it, Gabe, I take care of Gigi. You know that. I spared no expense for her. She has the best care and all of her needs are met. She's my only living relative left. She's my grandma, man, not his. He's not even related by blood. She was just his nanny, for fuck's sake. I get that you don't like the guy, Ash, but think about your situation for a minute. Gabe finally sat in the chair like a respectable human being and scrubbed his hands over his face to hide his smile, but failed. Many people have a hard time providing for elderly relatives that need care. They struggle to afford what they need, or they're dealing with a bad guy trying to take their house and sell their land out from under them. It just so happens you're a bad guy, cares too much about the woman who raised him, and constantly tries to one-up you by seeing who can take care of her better. This is kind of hysterical. It's not hysterical. I hate the guy. It's not enough that he tried to throw money at her all the time, but she calls him by his name whenever I call. Me by his name whenever I call. Whenever I visit, his face she sees, not mine. Fuck. He doesn't even call her Gigi or Grandma even. He calls her Shug. Fucking disrespectful. You love your Gigi, man. I know that. Gabe stared at me from across the desk, but I wouldn't let him pin me down. I was pinned down by no man. If anything, we were equals. In my mind, I was slightly above him, no matter his financial rank. I do. But you have to realize it's not your fault, and it's not her fault she calls you by the wrong name. That disease, I know. I interrupted him by fist banging on the heavy wooden desk in front of me. Then acknowledge it, but it will only get worse. You can let that shit impede caring for her. You can't let that shit impede caring for her. It's a long road, man, and it's ugly, and it hurts, and it will only get more brutal. No. I knew, and I hated it. I also hated the way my voice broke on the words that already came out barely above a whisper. Gabe was a lot of things, but at least he was enough of a friend to know when I was about to break, and he didn't push anymore. That was a lot coming from Gabe, because pushing buttons was like his second favorite thing to do, eat up bad guys and talk about his wife. I mean, I could be happy for him and everything, but she was a wild one. They had a weird relationship. I could never be with such a stubborn woman who did the exact opposite of what she was supposed to do all the time. Pretty sure I remember her getting kidnapped in the parking lot right in front of him because she pissed off a local crime boss. I'm not sure exactly what happened with that, but Gabe and Angel got married last year, and that crime boss doesn't exist anymore. And now I sit in the big office on the top floor of Anderson Investments, so Gabe can do what he really loves, which was fuck off and hang out with his wife. So back to your new assistant. And there it was, good old button-pushing Gabe. I don't want an assistant. Send him to work in the mailroom. Have him answer the phones downstairs or something. You don't just walk into this place and expect to be my right-hand man. It doesn't work that way, and I haven't vetted him. Our new employee starts on Monday as an executive assistant. He wasn't smiling or kidding around anymore. I almost swallowed my tongue. Fucking A. He was going to make it worse if I lost my cool now. Shit. If I had said another word, the new guy would probably have my office on and my desk. Gower will get the office next to yours. I have already negotiated salary. This will be a huge help to you. I told you, Gower is way overqualified for the position. We're lucky. Deal with your ego. Gabe finally lifted his lanky ass from the chair and tapped knuckles on my desk as he walked past. I'm serious about this. My family has been tight with the Gowers for a long time. This is not an alliance I'm willing to break because you got your feelings hurt. I didn't ask your permission. Gabe strode towards the door without looking at me, but paused in the doorway to say one more thing. Be nice. The door clicked shut, but the silence left behind was louder than the ringing in my ears. Be nice? I did not fucking think so. No trust fund baby would walk into my office like he owned the place. Just because you come from money doesn't mean you know a damn thing about managing it. In my experience, it was actually the opposite. So the new guy was going to start on Monday. Okay, I'd give him work to do. I'd work his ass into the ground until he cried to go home to his mom and dad, begging them to pay his bills again. I got where I was by scratching from the bottom up. I learned everything from experience. That included my employees. Gabe wanted to slip a new guy in under my watch. Fine, but I'd break him in. I'd break him in perfectly. Uh-oh. Jackie, are you looking for it? Do you see it? It's there. Let me see. Yeah, it's there. You should be able to see it. Okay. There it is. I figured you did. Well, Jackie kind of knew what she's looking for, too. I have to start hiding it all over the place and see who finds it first. Yes, I'm wearing pants tonight. Guess what? I got a bra on too. Bitch. Alrighty. So that gets you guys introduced to Caroline and to Ash and lets you know what the book's about. And it's about huge cocks, okay? Whether they have 2 legs or a body. So it doesn't matter. Yes, bitch, I'm all dressed up. I had to go to work today. I've been in the office since last Thursday, girls? Something like that. That's the reason I'm all discombobulated. See? I have a bra on. See? A bra. Oh, yeah. Well, my computer tore up. I went and got another one, and the boss didn't like that I had a new one, so that I had my own computer. So he told me I had to go back into the office until they got me a laptop so that I could bring home. And bitch. And they've put the first message I got the next day was we're putting your hey, at least I got a bra on. I didn't show you real boobies. which, I am rather known for doing. Desiree, thank you for showing up. You don't have to sit here for the rest of the shit show. I mean, we do this all the time, so I apologize. Thank you for letting me read your book. I greatly appreciate it. I'm adding it to my vacation. I'm going on vacation starting Saturday morning. I'm going to Florida, and I am adding it to my reading list while I'm down there. Yes. Did Nina tell you guys how to get a hold of it? I think it's on KU. I think. Don't quote me on that because I really don't know for sure. But I think it is. But they tell me my little one just, I got 2 in the floor, y'all. I'm stuck with big one. But they tell me that they were putting my request on hold. So yes, she should come back. We have fun. So I lost my train of thought. Oh, so I emailed my boss. I said, does this mean I don't get to work from home anymore? He says, send me that email without your comments in it. So I did. And supposedly he sent them and told them that it was a necessity. I needed it ASAP. And I'm still waiting. And that's been a week ago. So, yeah. I don't know if I'll get one or not, but yeah. But I'm on PTO next week. And then the next week I'm supposed to go back in the office anyway, because we're doing part-time at home, part-time in the office, and we're on a rotation schedule, and it's my week. So yeah, that's it. Thank you, Miss Shirley. All right, ladies, have fun. I will message you from Florida. I might even try to set up a live. I might even try to go live on Facebook or something. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. It depends on how much alcohol I have. You know how that goes. You would think I get braver with alcohol, but I really don't. I will definitely tell Big Daddy you girls said happy birthday. All right. Mwah. Love you, girls. Enjoy your weekend, and I will talk to you guys next week. As I said, I may do an upload for next week's Wednesday live read. All right. So have a good evening. Thank you all for showing up. I appreciate it. I miss you guys. Adios. Happy reading.